What's up, YouTube? So today I'm going to be replacing the mixer valve in my shower. The copper pipe that came out failed, and we had a leak inside the wall. And this right here was my extremely janky repair. Ball valve on top to shut that off, spigot on the bottom to shut that off. Needless to say, the wife wasn't very happy. So I'm going to try to show you how to fix this thing. Let's get rolling. First of all, I've got all my tools laid out. Milwaukee Manset tip box, map gas, not blue, not green, yellow. Go with the yellow. 90s and 22s, copper couplers, 1/2-inch straight couplers, solder tools. We got brushes, lead-free solder, flux, my little mini cutter. A lot of people are going to ask me why I don't use a Roto Zip or something similar, and the reason for that is because I don't have one, so I use what I got. How's that for relatable? So, tools, drop cloth, extension cords, shop vac, tripod. Always cover the appliances and fixtures. On the back side of this wall, I've centered the location of the valve, kind of etched out a square on the center of some studs so that I can mount the drywall back easily. And here we go. Okay, so first things first, we're gonna cut open the wall. I know a lot of you are gonna call me Sally, but I don't like drywall in my lungs. This stuff's really old. I don't know what they used to put it together. There could be mold in this wall. I'm gonna protect my lungs, be around for a long time. So deal with my PPE, people. So let's get this strapped up. Basically, when you're dealing with drywall, we've got, this is currently unplugged while I'm dealing with the blade. This drywall is gonna be a minimum of a 1/2 inch. Sometimes it goes up to 3/4 or 5/8, or 5/8. I mean, probably not 3/4. But what we want to do is sink the depth of this, set the depth of this blade. I can't talk. Set the depth of the blade to a little under 1/2 inch, so we can score the drywall almost all the way through, but not nick any studs, pipes, or wiring. So let's set this thing down. Loosen the adjustment knob. Bring it out to 0. Push it down a bit. Using your tape measure against the blade. See what you got. So that right there is right at a 1/2 inch. I'm gonna go with it. Live dangerously. Mostly because I'm 99.9% sure this is 1/2 inch. So let's get this rolling. Safety first, people. Safety. I should probably mention the water main is shut off, and I depressurize the system by opening the valves at the bottom of the house and a valve in the top of the house. That lets air escape and the water to go out, so we're good on that. All right, so let's see how we're looking here. Looks like I could have gone a shred deeper, so I'm gonna hit it one more time and open it up. Okay, so we've got the wall opened up. Was 1/2 inch material. So basically I'm doing this in reverse. I don't want to remodel my tub yet, or my shower enclosure yet, so I'm not breaking out the tile. I have to remove the supporting member that holds in the existing valve. So we're gonna cut this out. And then instead of cutting the pipes, I'm gonna try to just open it up by heating the pipes up, melting the solder, and removing the valve. And then we'll go from there. For this, I got my trusty DeWalt Sawzall. Sawzall, not Sawzall. We're gonna just cut through the supporting member. The nails go through top and bottom. Looks like they put one in at the side right here, so here we go. So be extremely careful to mind the depth of your blade. It is reciprocating, so you can punch out the hardy board or floated, tile substrate that you have in your shower. So for this, they've got some hangers holding the mixing valve in place. Neat trick to this is just roll the support backwards and it comes right out. Here you can see the burnt spots where they soldered the pipe right onto these hangers. So now I will heat this up with a torch, MAP gas only, and remove it. For this, you just need to apply some heat. I'm just kidding. This is more like it. Yellow bottle, not blue bottle, not green bottle. Blue's for cutting, heating, light brazing. Green is for camping, cooking. Yellow is for man work, okay? So here we go. Dial that flame in. We just want to heat this up. That's all we want to do. This is a cementuous backer. You're not going to catch that on fire. Don't worry about that. So I'm going to continue this on all 3 connections and remove the valve. Okay, the old valve is out. The hard part begins. Let's get it going. One thing to note, when you're doing this, the water is off in your house. So I took a few jugs and a couple big bowls and filled them up with water, just in case I started a fire. Worst thing you could do is start a fire and not have any water or a fire extinguisher. I also have one of those. So just note to self, have some water on hand. So I've got the new mixer valve in place. I don't have the backing up yet. I'm gonna solder it in place and then roll the backing in and attach it after the fact. So here we go. I like to work the heat down from the pipe itself and not overheat the mixing valve. You can actually end up melting the gaskets or the insert if you get this thing too hot, so be careful not to get it too hot. You do want the attachment part of the mixing valve to be hot enough to accept the solder though. The most important part of this is to make sure that you put your flux. I use a water-soluble benzomatic flux right here. Copper flows where the flux goes. It's a good way to remember it. Copper will only seep where the flux has been smeared, so make sure that you smear it really nicely and keep that going on there. We're almost there. Do it for that one. Okay, so we'll let that harden up real quick.
Now water test the solders by repressurizing the lines, see if we have any leaks, and go from there. I've got the new Moen mix valve in. This valve handles both showers and shower tub combos, or just a tub. This direction right here, I don't know what you would call this coupler, this port, this would feed your bathtub. So what I've done is basically soldered a small copper pipe into it with a copper cap. So this deletes the bathtub option, since this is a shower only. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you I did it perfectly the first time. I did have a small leak, a little pinhole leak out of this solder joint right here. So I had to go back, shut the water off again, and re-solder this joint. Now the pressure's on, the water's on, fully pressurized, and I have 0 drips. So that's what you want, no drips. That way when you patch the drywall back, you're confident that your valve is properly installed. What I'm gonna do is leave the drywall open for a couple days just to make sure. I'd hate to button it all up, skim coat it, texture it, paint it, and then here's some drips in there. So now we move on to the finish process. I'm gonna set the mixer valve controls and the shower head. Now that the valve is in, what you have to do is position the plane of the valve in the proper position for the finish hardware that's going to be installed on the other side of the tub. Most people install the valves from the front. Like I said in the beginning, I didn't want to remove my tile, so it was a lot easier to come from the back and install the valve backwards, essentially. The only problem there is when you go to attach the valve to your backing, you can't exactly nail it backwards. So what I'm going to do is pre-drill, or in this case post-drill, some holes through the backing, and I'm going to use small bolts to bolt the mixer valve to my backing support. So here we go. Let's find the right depth. Pre-sink a couple holes. Let's see here. Okay, so holes are pre-drilled to make this a little easier. You just want to make sure you have enough room on the top, securing hole on the bottom to pre-drill your stuff together. Since I'm reusing this, it's a little tight. The important thing is to make sure that the stud, look at my old man glasses, the stud that you're using as the supporting stud is flush with your 2x4s, because when you go to attach your drywall patch, you don't want any lip right here. There we go. We got the right amount of penetration through the wall. Great. Let's do this side first since it's so snug. Probably wouldn't recommend using your $150 impact as a hammer, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Know what I'm saying? All right, supporting members in. I'm gonna go back after the fact and drill some through holes that I can attach my mixing valve to the securing block with some bolts. And now on to the finish hardware. now we're installing the finish hardware on this valve. We're going to do the mixing valve controls and the new shower head. When I went to install the new backer plate, basically the old holes, the old opening in the tile that the original contractor made was for the old valve. So this is the first problem I ran into. One of the screws will pass through, catching onto the valve and pulling it forward and securing it, but the other screw has tile behind it. So what I have to do is remove the plate and basically drill a hole through the tile to make the opening for the screw. So I'm gonna mark it with the plate on right now. Just by drilling a little hole. Best I can. Actually, it'd probably be better if I got a pencil. I'd like to point out that this is probably the only time you'll ever be in the shower with me, unless my YouTube career takes off, in which case I'll be willing to take a shower anytime, because making YouTube videos is a lot of fun and I like it better than most things I do. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and pull this plate off, drill an access hole, and resume the install. Okay, that should do it. We will find out right now. When you install this backer plate, it's important to have the notch lined up with the notch on the valve. The depression or the notch in the actual, I don't know what this thing's called, the control valve, like I really have no idea what this is called. The notch in this part sticking out right here needs to be facing up towards the hot and cold emblems. And then I like to hand guide these through first to find the screw hole in the valve. About 1.5 inches, so it's a little bit hard to nail first try. I think that's it right there. Yeah. Okay. I'll leave that one slacked up so I can get this one in place. All right, it looks like I need to make a little more room. Bear with me here. Very important not to drill your new valve. That will reverse everything you just did. Okay, let's see. Pretty good. A little more off the bottom. There are better tools for this, like a Dremel. Or I'm sure there's even more specialty tools than that. But again, I use what I have. I'm not going to go buy a tool for something I'm trying to save money on. Ooh, got that one first try. How do you like that, baby? Alright, let's see if we can do the same thing down here. Looks like we got that one too. Snug them down. Important to keep these things snug. There's a built-in gasket behind this backer plate, and the gasket obviously does what gaskets do. It seals it from the inside out. If you want to get real finicky, or if you have big grout lines, you can run a bead of caulk around this thing. I like to keep it clean and avoid that if possible. Caulk is always the last case resort, in my opinion. Okay, now you insert your key stop, which looks like this, and your adjustable limit stop, which looks like this guy, oriented like this, into the stop tube. Then you adjust your handle adapter, which looks like this. Zoom in, baby. I don't know if you can get that. Yeah, there it is. That is your handle adapter. It goes on like this, or if you're facing it like this. You insert that onto the valve stem, like so. Comes with a screw, like this guy right here. Come on, get it. This thing's having a problem autofocusing, but it's the bigger screw of the two. That's what seats these things down. Let's see if it'll reach it. If it doesn't, push it a little bit. There you go. Seated. And from there, we put on the handle and the shower head. And we'll wrap this baby up. Okay, so, the handle. Pretty generic Moen handle, or Moen, I don't know how to say it. For this guy, Simple. You just slide it on. It's got a set screw, or what they call a handle stop, with this little handle stop screw. Technically it's a set screw. Just goes on with an Allen wrench. So slide the handle over the adapter. Insert the set screw through the bottom, all the way to the top, and then thread it in with your Allen wrench until it's secure. It comes with a little thread locker already on it, so no need to put more. Snug it up nice and tight because this is literally what holds your handle on. So after this, we are going to be in business. Okay, handle installed. Let's move on to the shower head. Ooh. Almost had to replace the shower door. Last but not least, you have a threaded pipe coming up from your valve that is behind the wall. I took out my old shower pipe, shower head pipe, whatever you call this thing. It goes like this. You literally just spin it out, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, for those beginners out there. The kit I bought came with this Moen shower head, which I am not a fan of, so my lady likes to be able to remove the handle and shower herself. So I bought this kit. You just put this boy right here, this thing goes right here, and you connect the two. We're gonna do that right now. Now this comes with a built-in gasket. It'll zoom in there. See that in there? That's a gasket. That prevents leaks. So I'm gonna install this the first time without plumber's tape. If you need plumber's tape, which you will if it leaks, then go ahead and wrap 3 times around the threads, no more, no less. 3 is my magic number, and try it again. But I'm gonna try for a tapeless install on this one. See how it works. Snug is the ticket. Right there. Now, go ahead and install the cable-y tube thing. Flex tube, I don't know what you call this. I call it flex tube. Kind of describes it perfectly. Also comes with a gasket in there. No need for tape. This side has the notches for the wrenches, so I'm assuming that it is the side that goes on the threads up top. However, I'm having some difficulty. Pilot error over here. Okay, so that's on there. I'm gonna go back after this is all said and done and just cinch these down a little bit more with the wrench. Now, you've got your removable shower head, the bottom of your flex hose, literally male, female. Hope I didn't offend anybody with that reference, but that is the technical term. And that was sincere, I'm not joking around. One joke about that. Literally, boom. That's how she goes. Let's see what happens here. Get my drills out. Get my bits out. Call this the moment of truth. Oh my gosh. My wife is going to be so happy. Alright, well, get you a nice close-up there. Thank you for watching. Hope you guys learned something. Try not to beat around the bush or give you too much filler. Thanks for, hanging in there with me. All the advice and stuff that you gave me. Please subscribe right here or right here. I don't know where I'm going to put it, but I will post more of these videos. Thanks, guys. Take it easy. Be good.